given the amount of running I do, it'll come as no surprise to many of you that I actually quite enjoy doing it. But even I have my days where I absolutely can't be asked getting out there and running. And it just so happens today is one of those days. Which brings me very quickly to the point of today's video. And that is, quite often people will ask me how I stay motivated to keep running. And it occurs to me that some days I'm not, but I run anyway. And I was thinking about this as I was running today, and I thought that's why entering events is so important to someone like myself, because I really like to, and in fact possibly need to, have something to aim for. For me at least, having something on the horizon that I need to do is what gets me off my ass and gets me running, because I have this philosophy that when you enter an event, let's not call it a race, because you know most of us go in these things with no chance of sort of placing, so call it an event. And my theory is that the event doesn't actually start at the starting line. The starting line is merely your marker for where the last X amount of miles kick in. So if you're doing a 10k race, the starting line is just your last 10k's of that race. It's not the whole race, or not the whole event, sorry. Basically, the minute you decide to do an event, that's when it starts. Because depending on how fit you already are and how long your event is, you can't just turn up to the start line and then start thinking about what you're going to do, how you're going to run. You've got to think about that and train for it in advance. Now, if you don't care about your performance, I suppose you can just turn up and, you know, jog it or walk it or crawl it or whatever you need to do to get through it. But most of us who do these things have a little bit of pride and a little bit of sort of inner competitiveness at the very least, and want to do well compared to what we're capable of. Maybe not compared to everyone else. For the most part, that's irrelevant. But compared to what we're capable of. So for me, this 200 plus kilometre run in Nepal doesn't start when I get to Nepal. It started 2 months ago. And when I get to Nepal, it's just the last couple of 100k's. Because it's what I do now and what I've done in the last few months that's going to define what happens on the day. Or days, as the case may be. There are a few things I can do when I get there, both mentally and physically, where I can push myself a little bit harder or, you know, go a little bit easier or whatever. But for the most part, by the time I get there, what will be my performance, give or take within a certain bracket, has already been determined. And that's a very, very long-winded way of explaining why I'm out running today. Sorry to make you stick through those ramblings, but to me it's a really important concept, because on days like today, where to be frank, I'm feeling like a bag of shit. Everyone's got their own reasons. Maybe it's something that happened at work or home, or physically you're not feeling well, or whatever it is. And for me, it's nothing in particular and everything in general. And I've perhaps also got a little bit of an event hangover. And by that I mean, sometimes when you do a big event and you finish it, you sort of put so much physical and mental energy into it that there's a bit of a come down after it. So it's perfectly natural to finish an event and then both physically and mentally feel like you need a bit of a break. So for me to have done Eurobilla just a couple of weeks ago and basically have to just keep training as if that was just a training run has been pretty difficult for me. So that's what today's diary entry is all about. A little bit, like I say, probably a little bit longer than you might want to sit through, but for those who are interested, that's where I'm up to. And yes, there you go. Till next time.